In a development that underscores the fraught intersection of politics, technology, and global rivalry, former US President Donald Trump has declared that he reached a deal with Chinese President Xi Jinping to allow TikTok to remain in operation in the United States. The announcement, made in Trump's characteristically confident style, immediately captured headlines. But as with much in this story, the details remain murky, and the Chinese government has yet to confirm his claims. TikTok, the video sharing platform that has taken the world by storm, has long been at the center of Washington's concerns over data privacy, national security, and the influence of Chinese technology. With more than 170 million American users, the app has become not only a cultural force, but also a political flashpoint. The saga took a new turn after a phone call between Trump and Xi. Trump's account suggested progress, but Beijing's version of the conversation appeared far less definitive. Lily Jamali, North America technology correspondent, put it plainly. We really don't have a lot of details, and I think your point is a really important one to dwell on, that China has not confirmed what Trump posted on social media. According to Jamali, Trump seemed to casually insert the supposed TikTok breakthrough into a broader social media post in which he praised his phone call with Xi. There was no elaboration, no supporting documentation, and crucially, no corroboration from Beijing. China's official readout, distributed through its state-run news agency, simply noted that Xi welcomed continued negotiations. It did not confirm any final agreement. That gap between Trump's triumphalism and Xi's vagueness is telling. Analysts say it highlights the political theater surrounding the TikTok saga, where symbolism often overshadows substance. At the core of this geopolitical standoff lies one question: who controls TikTok's algorithm? This algorithm, a highly sophisticated piece of artificial intelligence, is what powers TikTok's famous recommendation system. It learns user behavior with precision, serving up an endless stream of videos tailored to individual tastes. For many, it is the app's secret weapon, the feature that makes TikTok so addictive and influential. As Jamali explained, it is interesting because if there are Americans running the US side of the TikTok app, is ByteDance and China going to hand over that vital algorithm, which is what TikTok survives from? Why it is so popular, that is the key question. What happens to the algorithm? The US Congress, alarmed by the possibility that user data could be harvested by the Chinese government, has already insisted that TikTok must be sold to an American buyer or face a nationwide ban. The algorithm sits at the very heart of this demand. Without it, the American version of TikTok might look the same on the surface, but its engine, the reason people return again and again, could be gone. When confronted with this dilemma during a trip to the United Kingdom, Trump was asked directly, what will happen to TikTok's algorithm? Would American investors gain access to it, or would they have to develop an entirely new one? Instead of providing a clear answer, Trump deflected. He spoke in broad strokes about the benefits of the deal, but sidestepped the crux of the matter. His reluctance underscored just how sensitive the issue has become and how difficult it may be to resolve. Jamali noted the stakes clearly. The algorithm is what has made TikTok such a powerful force. It's where a lot of Americans get their news. TikTok, 170 million Americans are on the platform. You have content creators using it to sell things and promote their businesses. So that algorithm is in large part what keeps so many Americans on the platform. For creators, businesses, and ordinary users, losing access to the current algorithm would be like trading in a finely tuned sports car for a basic family sedan. The shell might look similar, but the performance would be worlds apart. This raises a provocative possibility. Could the United States end up with a stripped-down or alternative version of the app? As Jamali pointed out, it's entirely possible. But the truth is that the exact details of what this platform will look like once the deal is finalized, if it is finalized, just is not clear. Speculation has swirled about whether a TikTok-like could emerge, an app branded with the same name but running on a different, less sophisticated algorithm. Such an outcome would satisfy US demands for independence, but could leave users dissatisfied. The uncertainty has emboldened alternative proposals. One of the most notable has come from billionaire Frank McCourt, a real estate investor. McCourt has floated the idea of taking over TikTok while discarding the Chinese algorithm altogether, replacing it with a new system developed by American engineers. Jamali explained why this approach has been met with skepticism. That proposal has really turned a lot of heads because people look at it and say, well, then why would people be on TikTok if they're not constantly being served up with material that the platform knows that they're going to like? Without the Chinese algorithm, TikTok risks losing the very feature that distinguishes it from competitors. For some, this could be an opportunity to build a more ethical, transparent system. For others, it could be a death sentence for the platform's popularity. Amid the uncertainty, one company has emerged as the frontrunner to secure TikTok's US operations, Oracle. Led by billionaire Larry Ellison, a staunch Trump ally, Oracle has positioned itself as a natural partner. Reports indicate that Oracle will join a consortium of American investors aiming to take control of TikTok's US branch. For critics, Oracle's involvement raises questions about political favoritism. Was Trump steering the deal toward a friendly billionaire? Supporters, however, argue that Oracle's expertise in data management makes it a logical choice to handle the sensitive task of safeguarding American user data. Still, the same problem looms. Even if Oracle takes over, will ByteDance surrender the algorithm? Or will Oracle and its partners be left with the unenviable task of building their own version from scratch? Beyond the corporate maneuvering, the TikTok saga is emblematic of a larger geopolitical contest. The United States and China are locked in a struggle not only for economic dominance, but also for cultural and technological influence. For Washington, TikTok has become a symbol of the risks of Chinese technology. Lawmakers argue that the app could be used as a tool of surveillance or propaganda. For Beijing, the pressure to sell or restructure TikTok represents yet another attempt by the US to undermine Chinese companies. The numbers reveal why this matters. TikTok's 170 million American users represent a massive share of the country's online population. It is where young people share memes, discover news, and build communities. In cultural terms, it wields more influence than many television networks combined. If China were to surrender control of TikTok's algorithm, it would set a precedent for other Chinese firms facing scrutiny abroad. That is a concession Beijing is unlikely to make easily. For now, uncertainty reigns. Trump's declaration of victory may play well politically, but without confirmation from Xi and without clarity on the algorithm, the deal remains far from settled. Jamali, summing up the uncertainty, said, "It is absolutely a possibility that whoever ends up with this platform will have to remake their own algorithm. Such a move would be risky. A new algorithm might not replicate TikTok's magic. Users might migrate to rival platforms, creators might lose income, and TikTok's cultural dominance could fade. On the other hand, a fresh start might allow the US to build a platform that is more transparent, more accountable, and less vulnerable to foreign influence. The fate of TikTok in America hangs in the balance. At stake is more than just an app. It is a test of sovereignty, trust, and the ability of democracies to regulate digital spaces in an age of global interdependence. Trump claims he has struck a deal. Xi says only that negotiations will continue. The truth likely lies somewhere in between. What is certain is that TikTok, once dismissed as a fad for teenagers, has become a battleground for the future of technology and geopolitics. And as the world waits to see whether the app survives in its current form or morphs into something new, one thing is clear: the algorithm, that mysterious addictive code, remains the prize everyone is fighting for.